Hello dear students, this is Professor Bhumisha from the Computer Engineering Department, Silveraco University. Now, in today's video lecture, we are going to study about the fundamental concepts of the C programming language. So let us begin. The very first concept that we should know is a comment. What is comment? So comment is nothing but a simple statement which is being completely ignored by the C compilers. As we have seen in our previous video lecture, that comments are used to provide some extra information regarding author or program or any concepts used in the program. So it can be ignored by the compilers to make the program execution successful. Two types of comments are there in C. One is a single line comment and another is multi-line comment. Now what is single line comment? For example, if we want to start and end the same line as a comment, at that time we are normally using the single line comment. It is starting with the double slash. As you can see in the below code, we have one message to be printed hello world. The message that we have written in printf statement will be printed as an output. But above that particular line we have written print the message. This is very simple English language statement. So this will not be entertained by the compiler unless we make it comment. So to make it ignored by the compiler, we are making it comment. So this is called as a single line comment. Another type of comment we have seen is multi-line comment. What is multi-line comment? So multi-line comments in C are the way to make multiple lines comment at a time. For example, in the given code you can see we have written this program print one message for user using the printer. This whole statement is written in two different lines, right? To make this kind of multiple lines as a comment in one shot, we can use the comment concept of multi-line. How it can be written? So we use this following symbol, the slash, then asterisk, then after whatever the statement we want to make a comment, and end that particular lines with the help of asterisk and slash. This concept is known as a multi-line comment concept. Whatever we are writing in between this hash star and star slash is considered as a comment, multi-line comment, right? So this is the concept of multi-line comment. Another basic fundamental of C programming is header files. Now header files are what? They are nothing but a set of predefined standard library functions. Again, C is having a rich library functions. It is providing us with multiple inbuilt functions for different purposes that we can use. So to make them use, what we should do? We should use that header files. Where they are defined in the header files. So header files are nothing but the files which are containing the inbuilt function definition. C language has number of libraries that include the predefined function to make the programming easier. And these files are known as a header file. How we can recognize that particular file is header file or not? So for that, we have the .h extension. Header files are having the .h extension, and whenever we are about to include that header file in our code, we are writing it with the hash include directive. Again, in our previous lecture, we have already seen what is hash include. So to include the header file, what we can do? We are writing hash include, then after the name of the header file written inside the angle brackets. So this is the way for including the header file in our current C code. Over here again you can see in the figure, one first statement is and include stdio.h. Now what is stdio.h? It is nothing but the standard input output header file. Now we can also make our own header file. One of the feature of C programming language is it's extensible. Extensible means what? We can add our own code, our own libraries inside the C language. So it is also possible for us to make one header file of our and then after save it with the .h extension, and then after we can use it. So this is also supporting the feature of extensible. Data types. Now, C programs are written for multiple purposes. One of the purpose can be doing the calculation. So whenever we are doing calculation, we need to tell the compiler that what kind of data we are about to work on. So data types are nothing but they are the way to tell the compiler that what kind of data it is going to store. So data types help us to define the variable within the main function or any user defined function. Data types are attribute that tells the computer how to interpret the value. So we must know that what kind of data type supported in the C programming language. So C programming language supports three types of data type. One is user defined data type, which contains structure, union, enum and type depth. Another data type provided into the C is called as a built-in or the primitive data type, which is very basic. Normally in our all C program we use this. So which are the basic primitive data types? They are integer, character, float and double. And the third type in C programming language is derived data type. Derived data type are like array, function, pointers. So these are the basic data types supported into the C programming language. Currently we are going to deal with the primitives and the deriveds. Again, user defined are also the way for us to make our own data type. So let us see them. Primitive or primary data type. What is it? So as we know that C programming language provide us multiple inbuilt facilities in way of function. Similarly, it also provides us the inbuilt data types which we can directly use for our programming. So which are the primary data types provided by the C? They are mainly character, integer, float and double. So this particular slide represents the different data types in C along with its size and the range. Now as you can see, the size and range of character is represented as 1 and minus 128 to plus 127 respectively. That means what? The maximum value that can be stored inside any character variable is 127. That means if we are supposed to store the value 500, then it will not be supported. Why? Because the range defined is up to 127 and the minimum range is minus 128, and the size, the total size for that storing that particular value available is 1 byte. That is nothing but the 8 bit. Similarly, for the integer we can see it is 2 byte. Now C language is depending on different type of compilers. So depending on what kind of compiler you are using, this size may vary. Over here I am representing integer as a 2 byte size. But it may possible another particular compiler is supporting the 4 byte size. So you should not be confused because this is what depending on the compiler. So this particular table must be known when you are using any particular data type to store the data. Now, let us see an example for the data types. As you can see in the given code, we have integer I variable with the value assignment of 5, character C variable with the assignment of B. There is a float F variable, double D variable. So these are the different ways to use the primary data types in our C programming language. Int, char, float, double, these are nothing but the keyword. What is keyword? So in programming language, we have some reserved words by the programming language itself. That means what, they have their predefined meaning and uses. We should use it according to that only. We cannot change its meaning. So over here integer, character, float, double are nothing but the keywords. Integer represents the integer data type. Character, float, double represents the character, float and double data type respectively. Right. So this is the example for showing the uses of data type in C. Now in the printf statement you can see to get the value of integer variable. What we have written, the very first printf statement says the integer value is. Then after what we have used %d. This is nothing but the type specifier. The C programming language is about to print the value from the variable. The name of the variable is what? I. So we need to tell the compiler that variable is holding the integer type of value, and for that we are using the type specifier. So for integer we have the type specifier %d. Then after we completed the double inverted comma, then comma, and then the second argument is nothing but the variable. So through this statement compiler come to know that the message it is about to print is the integer value is 5. That 5 will be taken from the variable I. Similarly for the character, float and double. The type specifier for the character is %c. For the float it is %f, and for the double variable it is %lf. Let us So derived data type are another data type provided by the C. Derived data types are nothing but a primary data types that are grouped together. We can group many elements of similar data type. What are the examples of derived data type? Arrays and pointers. Let us take an example ahead. So like in given example, after the declaration of variable I, we have declared marks. Now this marks is nothing but referred as an array. What is array? So array is again a concept provided into the C language which is allowing the user to store multiple elements of the same data type. Over here the declaration of marks is done as an integer. Inside the square bracket, what we have written? We have written 3. That means what? We can store 3 integer values in the marks variable. 3 different values we can store in the under the marks variable of integer data type. Below we have done the initialization. Marks 0, that means what? The first element out of 3. Mark 1, that means second element out of 3. Marks 2, that is third element out of 3. Zeroth element is assigned the value 50. First element is assigned the value 60. And third element is assigned the value 75. So recall that if I am having the integer variable, single integer variable, so I can store only one element. But using array within a single name, I can store multiple values as per the size provided within the array. So over here in marks, I have used 3 size. So I can store 3 integer elements within it. And I can get them printed with the help of for loop. So this is the concept of derived data type. The next concept is regarding the variables and constant. Now what is variable? So variable is nothing but the container. To store the data, to hold the data, what we need? We need one variable. So variable is providing the facility to hold the data. It indicates the storage area. Each variable should be given a unique name. In a C programming language, within a single program, I cannot use multiple variables of the same name. I must have to provide the unique name to each and every variable. It must, variables are what? They are just the symbolic representation of the memory location. Let us take an example. Say for example, as we can see, over here integer player score equal to 95 declaration is done. Player score is the variable name. Integer indicates that it can hold the integer type of value. 95 is the assignment done to the player score variable. Now what happened when this kind of particular statement is compiled? What compiler does, it will allocate 2 bytes of memory to the player score variable. Over there the 95 value will be stored, and as and when we are about to use this player score variable in our code, it will fetch the value from that memory location. Variable value can be changed in our program. This is the facility or the feature with the variables. Like while we are making a program, say for example over here character ch equal to a is there. After writing some code, if as per the need I need to change the value of a to 1, then it is possible. So changing the value of variable can be possible in the program. We can do so. Now, what kind of rules we should remember while using the variable? So these are the basic rules that we should keep in mind while using the variable. A variable name can only have the letters, both uppercase and lowercase, both are allowed. Digits are also allowed, underscore is also allowed. But the first letter of the variable should be either a letter or underscore. For example, if I write integer a1, that is okay. It is allowed, it is valid identifier. But if I am writing integer 1a, that is the variable is starting with the digit, then it will create the error. You may run into problem in some compilers if the variable name is longer than 31 characters. Normally, depending on the compiler, we are said that there is no rule regarding the length of variable name. But no, 31 character is the accepted range for declaring the variable. And logically while programming, we are not giving that much bigger name. And no white spaces are allowed in the variable declaration. Not that. We should keep in mind that we should always try to give the meaningful name to variable. If I am making a program regarding the data fetching or data storing of any particular employee where I am supposed to get the data of first name, last name. So I should use the variable name first name instead of fn so that it can be meaningful or it can be easily interpreted by the other user as well. C is strongly typed language. What it means? It means that the variable type cannot be changed once it is declared. See in our previous slide what I said, we can change the value. But over here it is regarding its type. Say for example, I have one variable number, type of integer, and the value assigned is 5. Now later on in my code, if I am writing number equal to 5.5, then it will create an error. What is the reason behind it? The reason behind this first error is what? The type of the variable is integer and I am about to store the decimal value over there, floating point value over there, so it will create the problem. Second statement, double number. What I am doing, I am redeclaring the number variable. Already it is declared as an integer, and now if I am redefining it with the double type, then it will create the problem. Another concept is about the constant. A constant is what? It is a name given to the variable whose values cannot be altered or changed. See, variables and constants are somewhat similar, but the basic main difference is what? The constant values cannot be changed in the program. A constant is what? It is assigning the value once which remains fixed for the whole code. For example, see over here, we have constant double pi equal to 3.40. Over here we have used one more keyword const. We know that double is a keyword which is nothing but a data type, but before that what we have used the const data type. This const keyword. This keyword is used for declaring that particular variable pi as a symbolic constant. Here pi is symbolic constant and its value cannot be changed. The value that is assigned is 3.14. Now in my whole code, whenever I am going to use the variable pi, it will be using the value 3.14. But in any case, if I am writing it to change, for example over here pi equal to 2.9 statement is there, then it will create the problem. The reason is what? It is defined as the constant. So while making the program, we should keep in mind the difference between variables and constant. And as per our requirement, we can either make them constant or variable. So these are the basic concepts or fundamental concepts that we are using while creating any C program. Thank you everyone.